Here's a subject pastors do not talk about. Do not. I say that there might be some real small fraction of a percentage that have spoke of it, but I have not heard of that myself at all, let alone ever. So I'm talking about God's medicine, if you want to call it that, the Creator's medicine, the medicine that is here to help heal you, and not cause strife for the most part. So Galatians 5:19, the Greek word pharmakia is used, which means the use of administration of drugs or medicine. The NIV translation of this verse translates it as witchcraft. Witchcraft is used a lot ever since the King James Version, that kind of stuff came out. But this is due to changing of the words. Change it a little bit, and it's not as harsh. And then after people get used to it, then change it a little bit from that, so it's not as telling as to what it really is, what it really means, where it came from, where it originated, that kind of stuff. So, Corinthians 6:19 through 20, the Bible teaches that our bodies are our temples of the Holy Spirit and should be taken care of, period. So what does that mean? Well, that means that you need to do what you can, search for yourself, for your family, and figure out what is right. And take this witchcraft, this pharmakia, this poison, and get that out of your minds as being something that's beneficial. In my opinion, it's zero for the most part. Now, if you get an accident or something that happens, you have to be operated on because of something unforeseen like that, to fix some sort of limb detachment or something else. Yeah, hospitals are great in that kind of vicinity, you know. But if you're feeling like you're sick, or they say you have some imagined thing you can't see, and they call that a virus, which in my opinion, that's a whole nother subject, but anyways, or they call it something else, that I think you need to think about and say, well, is that really what it is? Or is my body detoxing from the crap that I've eaten, the chemicals I put in my body, the chemicals that are being sprayed out there, or the chemicals that are in the food, or all this junk that I'm eating, or the way I'm living my life, my lifestyle? Maybe my body's like, well, I got to get some of this out of here so I can start to repair myself, because that's what your body does. Maybe, I'm just asking, I'm saying maybe, but did you know insurance companies pay pediatricians massive bonuses based on the percentage of children who are fully vaccinated by the age 2? So the children they have in their practice, pediatricians, get paid massive bonuses. I don't know if that's quarterly, semi-yearly, or yearly bonuses, depending on how many children they have vaccinated, fully vaccinated by the age of 2. And then after that, they get more bonuses. But the big one is, as long as they're fully vaccinated by the age 2, that's where the large bonuses come in. These pediatricians, and they continue on. They get more bonuses and bonuses, but not as big of a lump sum as they do for the first 2 years of those shots. Prescription drugs taken as a direct, whether it's a direct help or just because they're addicted to it or whatever, prescription drugs that are taken kill, on average, 106,000 Americans a year, every single year from prescription drugs. Medical errors are the third leading cause of death in U.S. after heart disease and cancer, and most doctors don't want you to know whatsoever about that. Because why? Well, because they're the ones in butcher coats, and they're the ones that you're supposed to look up to for all the answers about your health. I'm cough, I'm sick, I don't feel good, I need to go see a person in a white coat, and they'll tell me what's wrong with me and give me the things to make me better. That's where we're at, and we've been indoctrinated into that, and that's not the way it always was, and that's not the way it should be, is my take on it. Johns Hopkins study claims more than 250,000 people in the U.S. die every year from medical errors. Other reports claim the number to be as high as 400,000 a year. The Bible condemns the use of poisons for medicine and labels it as sorcery, and very plainly tells us that true medicine is leaves. The common name used for medical leaves is herbs. I believe this is Psalms 104:14 says that He giveth given us herbs for the service of man. Thomas Jefferson gave us this warning that people let the government decide what foods they eat and what medicines they take. Their bodies will soon be in a sorry state, as their souls are of those who live under this tyranny, if they allow that, which look at where we are today. Strong's exhaustive concordance of the Bible, which lists every word in the Bible, lists the word sorcery as word 5332 and tells us that it translates from the original Greek word pharmakia, pharmakon. It gives a definition as a drug, i.e. a spell-giving potion, a druggist, a poisoner. Now, I've said that, like I started this is, I've never heard this, and I don't think there's ever, I'm not saying there isn't, but there's been pastors or leaders of churches who've talked about pharmakia and how it's bad, and you need God's medicine, you need nature's medicine, herbs, that kind of stuff. So, now, this is Galatians 5:19 to 21. Now the deeds, well, I won't read that long, 5:19 to 20. Now the deeds of the flesh are evident, which are immorality, impurity, sensuality, idolatry, sorcery, pharmakia, imminent strife, jealousy, outbursts of anger, disputes, dissensions, factions. We have Revelation 18:23. The light of the lamp will not shine in you, the great city of Babylon, any longer, and the voice of the bridegroom and bride will not be heard in you any longer, for your merchants were the great men of the earth, because all the nations were deceived by your sorcery. Other versions that read that are, by your magic spell, all the nations were led astray, that's NIV. All the nations were deceived by your witchcraft, that's ISV. Because of the nations were deceived by your magic spells, that's NET Bible. For all the nations have been deceived by thy enchantments. One more is because in your spell, inducing drugs, all the races were led astray. Ezekiel 47:12. Their fruit will be for food and their leaves for healing. These are just a few things. If you look in Genesis, there's other things that talk about this. That food is the medicine. Herbs is the medicine. We don't need this Rockefeller medicine, this Flexner medicine, this kind of stuff that's based off of oil, derived from oil. It's basically all poison for the most part. I say all slightly lightly, but mostly it's poison, and it does nothing but harm. So anyways, that's all I have to say about this. If you like this lecture, subscribe, and as always, stay vigilant.